Joseph, welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Tisha Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Man shares his struggle with co-parenting. This video is captioned, "Men who stay in their children's life post-relationship." No more wasting time. Let's get it.
Man, sticking around your children, like after you are like separated from their mother, is a real untalked about topic in my eyes. Like maybe on both sides of the fence is crazy, but I only can speak for men. It's like when you split up from somebody, they show you who they really are. Like they really show you who they really are. And sadly, when you have kids with that person, they use your kids as the, as like this shield. Like, and it's like you can't even get to your kids at times because, you might have pissed off the mom. Now, I know legally you can go to court. Legally you can get, rights and all that. In my state in Ohio, all children that are born are not born, the father don't have any custody over their children at all. So even if you sign a birth certificate in Ohio, even if you take a picture with the birth certificate holding a baby, they don't care. Even if the mother says that you are the father, they don't care. At the end of the day, you don't legally have rights until you go get them rights. But my thing is this. Why the we need to do that? Why the would we need to go to court and get rights when you know and I know I want to be in my child's life? What type of women put men through this shit? Like, you got men who don't want to be in their kids' lives at all. They said, I know, because I'm in a situation, my girl has kids, and that, every man don't just stick around. My dad didn't stick around. Most dads don't stick around. Maybe it's because of the woman. Maybe it's because of the situation. Who knows? I don't know. I don't care to know. But all I know is I stuck around. And to have to fight for your children, have to literally go to court and like prove that you're not a drug addict or a crazy person. Like, what the like, all they do is look at my finances and they realize like, well, ain't no way. Not trying to be like, praising myself, but I haven't been broke since I've been out of high school, since I went and work and started working physically. Like, I haven't been broke. I've always made good money. Anybody who know me knows. So I've always been able to take care of my children. I always wanted to take care of my children. It's like, why do the men who stick around go through the most shit? It's like, y'all want our child support, y'all want our time, but the other just left. Y'all ain't even put up a fight to go find him. You want the new shit be bothering me. It's like the I'm the new baby daddy in this case, I guess. If you already got a child, you want me to take care of all the fallen soldiers in your pipeline now? No. Like, those are not all your. So now I gotta fight for my rights to see my child. It's like, damn, you have no rights to your children, fellas. Like, it's like we don't have any rights. Why are y'all? How do they get our money before we get rights? Like, you telling me you can take my money, but I don't have the rights to come see my child unless I go back to court? Shit, it's crazy. Like, what? And it's like, it's the fact that it's going to get done. But it's just like, damn.
All right. So when he says you can have my money, I'm wondering if he's talking about child support. Because the money that I know he's also definitely referring to are the legal expenses that are involved in fighting for those children. Hey guys, did you know that I'm on Facebook? Go ahead and hit that link pinned to the top of the comment section. If you're on Facebook, give me a follow. You can keep track of current content, shorts, and also older content if you are following me on Facebook. Appreciate you guys back into the video. Listen, guys, a lot of times, because people will say, oh, well, why don't you know, Chisha? These laws vary depending on the state. And depending on who's telling the story, I never know exactly how the laws go in that particular state. Now, I could always look that up, but he was very clear in the fact that it's never talked about are a group of men out here who they're not trying to avoid accountability for their children. They're not trying to run away from responsibility. In fact, they want to be there for their children. Now, they should have not had children outside of wedlock. They should have made sure they wrapped it up. They should have married before they decided to smash that chick raw. Yes, they got to get that coffee too. And no one likes coffee when it's their turn to drink it. But regardless, they're trying to do the next best thing. And the next best thing is being a present father for those children. But it's not hard to believe that there are women out here keeping men from being present father to the men who want to stay. Because there are a bunch of chicks, I talked about this in a recent video I did too, who want children but don't want to deal with a man in their lives going forward. This is the same as the same women who choose government support and assistance over a man who's going to provide and protect. Well, they'll pick the government assistance because that way no one can tell me what to do. And in this situation, they don't want to cooperate with the man, which is horrible. Here's a comment that he responded to that said, "Hate hearing this. I haven't had contact with my boy for months, and all I get is a phone call, and after I'm blocked, I have no clue where they are." There's another video I'm going to play after this one that we're about to get into that goes into just how expensive it is for a man to stay in his children's lives when a woman is trying hard to keep him away. Let's get into it.
And this is why most men probably leave. Like, we don't want to talk about it. We want to say men should be more accountable, held accountable. They should fight harder for their children. But do y'all notice the people who say that shit are the women who are making you fight? Why are we fighting for our children? Why don't we take accountability a step forward, right? Why is it that we need to have accountability to keep fighting when shit like this is happening? When you're the reason that is happening. Instead of being a woman and just being like, you know what? My child needs a father. Me and this person don't like each other. That's fine. We'll deal with it. It's no abuse involved. It's no drugs involved. Why the are we being blocked and not being able to talk to our children? Y'all want us to crash out so bad, and that's why they walk away. Because they're not about to crash out and go to prison. We ain't gonna be in our children's life either way then. Why the I'm sitting here playing this game mentally, emotionally. Some men don't have the finances to go to court and drain out $1,000, $10,000 in legal fees just to see a child. Your child. Nobody has that. That is a lot.
That's very true.
I'm praying for you, brother. I pray it gets better for you for sure. This shit is crazy. I'm with you on this one, though.
The importance of being extremely careful, the type of woman who you decide to have children with can't be stressed too much. It really cannot be. That person does have the power to make your life a living hell if they so choose. They do. And the system is on their side. That's what's messed up about it. The system has their back. They can make you crawl through as many hoops as possible and truly make it a nightmare for you to spend time and be with your children. And in the end, a lot of guys are just drained out financially, mentally tapped out. You're missing child support payments. You got to pay for visitation with the kids. You got to pay the lawyer. Then they suspend your license because you missed the payment for the child support. And now you're not able to get to work on time. And now you got tickets because you're driving on a suspended license. It can get too much for a lot of men out here. Let's check out some of these comments here that people have to say. First comment here says, driving to court for 50-50 as we speak. I won't relent. Wow. So here's a guy who's like, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to fight for it. He goes on to say, move back with parents, no dating, no life. They are my life. Here's somebody else who says, control and manipulation. I'm experiencing it right now. I'm saving all that info. Here's somebody else who says, my ex left us so he can have a kid-free life with his new girlfriend. This is a woman with the crying emoji. She goes on to say, he doesn't even care to help or have them over the weekend. Mind you, we have a guy here who's doing what he can and fighting to see his children. And on the other side, you have women who complain about men who are just like, I don't want anything to do with those kids. Guys, you got to be careful out here who you lay with. You have to protect your seed. You got to be careful. Another guy responded back to that chick and says, that's what you get. Yo, these dudes are just on demon time, man. They're just like, man, get out of here. Get out of the comment section. He says, that's what you get. Choose better men. And then a guy responded back with the laughing emoji. Yo. Somebody else here says, I'm going through it right now. Ain't seen my daughter in 2 years. Oh, that's heartbreaking. Another comment here says, brother, I'm currently fighting the same fight as you. It's a completely rigged system. And somebody else here says, final comment, going through the same thing, spent $20K in court lawyer fees since August. Wow. To see my own kid on top of expenses, child support, and still have no rights. Same weird law in Georgia. Be careful out here, kings. Guys, if this isn't the birth control you needed, I don't know what else is going to help you see that it's not worth it. The cheeks are not worth it. It's not worth it. A lot of guys think, oh, she'll just take the plan B. The plan B won't work if she's ovulating. Did you know that? Did you know that? Or you're hearing that for the first time? A lot of guys don't know that. Comment down below if this is the first time you've heard this. If you're a young man who does not know this. And now it's up to her. It's not a game out here, man. You have to be careful. Listen, guys, as always, I'm curious to know, what do you think? Leave your comments down below. I appreciate you, as always, for checking out another episode of the Coffee Pod. And as promised, here's a video of a guy who is sharing. By the way, this is from Daddy Issues The Truth on TikTok. Here's a guy who's sharing his experience with just how expensive it was for him to spend time with his kids.
Yeah, because she filed first, she kind of called the shots, right? My lawyer's like, yeah, we can go to court and fight this, but you're going to have to go to trial and you're going to run up the cost even more, right? So, and at the time, like, I was desperate to see my 1.5-year-old, 2-year-old daughter. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. And my aunts were luckily, thankfully willing to do it. And so they did. And then it came to a time where they couldn't do it anymore. That's a little unfair to ask them to do it. Understandable. So, and then I ended up doing court-ordered, like, paid supervision, which was $200 an hour.
$200 an hour. Damn. And you were like 4 hours in?
Yeah, it was like, but it came to a point because I'm also paying a lawyer where I was like, I just can't. That's right. Impossible. And my lawyer urging me, you have to keep up with child support, otherwise you're gonna look like bad. You're gonna look terrible in front of the judge.
Right.
So it came to a point where, like, I would go a month without seeing her because I just couldn't afford to.
Oh, that sucks so much. It's like, because especially when you built a bond with this child in the beginning and then you're just ripped away from her.
Yeah, and then you're trying to, like, your main thought is you don't want to lose that bond either, right? So I was trying everything I possibly could to even for an hour or 2 hours or whatever I could, but financially, like, draining.
What were some of the alienation things that she did or said?
A lot of the alienation, like, early on started, like, just her keeping her from me. And now that my daughter's older and I have her on weekends and overnights now it's starting to come, like, she'll say certain things like, oh, don't go to dad's because I'll do this for you, or something like that. My daughter will tell me when she sees me, right? Or, like, instances where my ex would buy tickets for an event on my weekend and ask me to say, hey, I'm keeping her this weekend. I was like, no, it's my time. I like fought hard for that. It's my time. But then my daughter, I'd go to her, one of her sporting events or something, and my daughter would say, no, Daddy, I'm staying at my mom's this weekend because I want to go to this.
Yeah. And now do you
Right.
let in because you don't want to get her upset, or
at first, like that specific incident, I dug my heels in. I'm like, no, I'm not switching. And then I was like, well, my daughter's already mad at me. She's already paying me to be the bad guy. And I was like, okay, this one time, take her. But then I want my time made up, and she's still like 8 months later, still hasn't made that time up. It's always an excuse like, oh, we have plans or something like that, right?
yeah. And the shitty thing is, if you file contempt, then you got to pay your attorney and go to court and just deal with all the bullshit again.
All of that. Yeah. And then, that's kind of been the main alienation that's really coming out now. And then my daughter will say, like, my ex has got a new relationship, new family started, and my daughter will say, well, her stepdad's mom said this about me. And I'm like, I've never even met that person. Why are you saying that to a 6-year-old kid? Right. And so now there's been some weekends where my daughter like refuses to come to my house.
That's so tough. It's because like you're built up with anger. Like the same shit happened with me, but you're built up with anger. But it's like you also don't want to be mad or mean to your child because it's not their fault. They don't understand what's happening. But it's like, damn, from 1.5 or 2 years old till now, she's been, told all this stuff about you, and damn.
Yeah. That's the hard part too, right? Especially now as the kids get older, you're like, what damage is this really doing to the child? Right?
Yeah, the damage is, it's pretty mind-blowing. And then when you sit there and talk to a judge and you show that, this is what's happening, especially, the alienation stuff, when you're such a great dad in the beginning, but as soon as you guys break up, then you're abusive, you're a drunk, you're, all these things. How do they not see the pattern from every relationship that happens, that comes into court, the same story? You know what I mean? It's like, how can't they realize this at this point?
Yeah. And I actually had that conversation with a friend of mine the other day. I was just like, I think they see it, but the court system, it's a business. Right. They don't make any money. They don't make any money off the criminals. Why are they going to take away the family court where they make it? It's $1 billion industry. Well, that's money out of the lawyer's pocket and the judge's pocket, and that's kind of the sick part about it, is it's not about the child at all. Right.
I talk about that a lot because, everybody sits there and says, oh, it's about the kids. It's about the kids. And then you show them all this shit. And it's like, well, if it was about the kids, then you would be either taking them out of that situation or doing something different. But every time it's, the dad just gets fucked.
Oh, yeah. And like you said, like that time you're together, like all of her social media posts were all about what a great father I am. Like she's so happy, all of this stuff. And then all of a sudden, I'm the worst guy in the world. Did you
have to bring any of that into court? Did you like screenshot all that?
I had screenshots. I had like some friends, like mutual friends, like still sending me stuff because they knew what the truth was. So they would screenshot like all of her stuff and send it to me.
Because I'm assuming she blocked you, so you couldn't see her. Yeah.
Block instantly, right? And our trial was a 5-day trial, which was excessive. Like normally it's a 3-day trial or something, right? Yeah. From what I hear, or a 5-day trial is for like a complicated divorce where there's financials and everything like that. But we weren't married. There was no assets or anything we had to split. It was purely about visitation.
Which should be so easy and clean to do in court. Yeah, for a 5-day trial, that's so excessive.
But instead, her lawyer's like, no, we need 5 days because he knew that's gonna rack up my bill.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, man. I wish I had 5 days to sit there and show all the shit I had. I got cut early because we only had like 4 hours, but mine got 2, she got 2.
Oh, so really?
I wish.
Yeah, I know. And in hindsight, like really, we could spend 2 weeks going in and bringing character references and all this stuff you need to, right? But
and the hard part is too, like, not to talk about me and my situation, but it's very similar. And I sit there and I'm like, we go back to court February 6th or whatever for our final or whatever. But I sit there and I just show the judge all this stuff, and like even with child support, and she lied on her financial affidavit, she lied, bringing these things to court. Like, I'm showing you she's lying about these things. What are you going to do about it? Because that back child support that I wouldn't have been paying, even if it was $50 a week, that adds up over 6 years because she lied on a piece of paper. What are you going to do about that? Because if that was the guy, you would definitely make me pay back child support.
Oh yeah.
So what's, I get so mad because I'm just like, it's just not fair, and it's still not fair.
And not only would they make you pay, if you didn't pay, you're going to go to jail or lose your driver's license or something, right? Or your wages are garnished.
Yep. Yeah, they'll take it straight from your paycheck.
And that's kind of another aspect of what I'm dealing with now, is because then like here we have family maintenance, so they, like, an organization that collects interest on late child support. It's corrupt.
Oh, they do interest on that.
Oh yeah, they collect interest if you're behind or anything, right? So for the first, like, since our trial, I just e-transferred her the child support because I'm like, oh, that's a paper trail, whatever. But then she went to family maintenance and put me on the enforcement program saying I didn't pay her.
So then they put those charges on you for back child support, not knowing that you already paid?
Yeah, correct. And I was like, well, what can I do about that? They're like, send us your bank. So I sent them like 3 years of bank statements saying, look, I sent her the money, but I didn't clarify in the memo saying this is for, that it was child support.
I'm just giving this woman that I'm not fucking dating every week. Unbelievable.
That's what I said. I was like, so this woman, I went through all this court stuff, probably cost me like $50,000, maybe upwards to $100,000. And I'm like, so I'm just sending her extra money every month just out of the goodwill of my heart.
All right, guys. Till next time. I'm out. Peace.